Hey guys, and welcome to Gwent, the Witcher card game. My name is Jaggerous, and today we are going to be checking out some card reveals for the Master Mirror Gwent expansion that drops on the 30th of June. I will have a link in the description to the Play Gwent website where you can see all of the cards revealed so far for yourself. And today we're going to be looking at the Nilfgaard reveals. Now, CD Projekt Red have been revealing cards faction by faction. They went Nilfgaard, then they went Syndicate, then they went Skellige, now they're looking at monsters. And there have been a few cards left behind, so I was waiting to see if we would find out what these cards are, but it seems that something per faction is being left at this point. So rather than just waiting on the video, I wanted to just get started and show you guys some of the cards. So we'll be talking about Nilfgaard in this video, and then we'll make another video at some point to pick up the dregs. So, with the expansion, we have these new evolving cards, and these cards will change between rounds. So, for example, with Nilfgaard, we have Usurper Officer. Now, at the start of the round, if he's in your hand or your deck, but not in your graveyard, so, no graveyards, he turns into Usurper General, and his effects kind of change a little bit. Then he has the Devotion tag. Now, this means if your deck has no neutral cards in it, then at the end of the round, he will transform into Usurper Emperor. So, you get this form in round 3 if you have no neutrals. Whereas you can get to this form, with any sort of deck. So what does this card do? Well, it's an 11 provision card, and when you play it, you spawn an operative in an enemy row. And an operative is a 3 strength doomed spying token. Okay, so that's what they do. It has Zeal, which means you can trigger this on the turn that you play it, and you have the order to seize all spying operatives. So you make an operative, which is 3 strength, and then you take it to your side. And this seems to have synergy with spies, right? Because sometimes when you create or play spies, things can happen. They have statuses, so it also works with things like Thirsty Dames. So this is kind of maybe a synergistic card. On round 2, it spawns an operative on each enemy row. So this one is 1 enemy row, this one is 2, so you get an extra operative, and you get another spying unit, and you can kidnap all 3. And then in the third form, it has Veil. So Veil is a mechanic, which means that you can't apply statuses to this card, so you can't lock it, you can't poison it, you can't purify it. Well, I think you probably can. I don't know if you can purify Veil. We'll have to wait and see. But you can't put Vitality or Bleeding on it, for example. And this one, it also has the condition whenever you play an agent, boost self by 1. And I believe an agent is a spying unit, so things like Joachim, for example. So this one then also has synergy with playing more spies, but this requires you to only have Nilfgaard cards in your hand. So it really does feel like CD Projekt Red are really trying to flesh out the spies archetype with this expansion. And if we go to our bronze cards, you can kind of see that a little bit further as we get into some of our other Nilfgaard offerings. So here we go. Amnesty. Seize an enemy unit with 3 power or less. Boost it by 2. Devotion. Always trigger Conspiracy ability. So Conspiracy is a tag that requires you to target a spy, right? So if we play Amnesty and we target a spy, then we will boost whatever we steal by 2, basically, right? And then if we have exclusively Nilfgaard cards in our deck, then we will boost anything that we steal by 2. And this is a very, very powerful card. I think this is going to be very, very powerful. It's a tactic as well, which means you can utilize other tactic strategies. So it kind of does what Swears does at the moment. You seize an enemy. If it's a spy, you boost it by 2. If your deck only has Nilfgaard cards, you boost anything by 2. So pretty powerful card already. And you can see, playing into spies with this whole conspiracy thing. We also then have the Mage Infiltrator, who's an agent, so she's one of the spying units. She's disloyal, you play her on the other side, and she will damage adjacent units by 3. So this is another kind of spying unit. So we're starting to see more and more synergies and additional spying units coming out. Now, I just want to say that we don't know what's happening with current cards. Like, there are certain cards at the moment, I believe it's Imperial Enforcer, Imperial something, and he deals damage, and then he can deal damage every time you play a spy kind of thing. So there is already cards that do that, and we don't know if those are getting changed. So, I'm just going to go off what we currently have in Gwent. But it does kind of seem to be that this archetype is getting fleshed out. We have the Angry Mob. They read the papers every day. They like what they like, they hate what they hate, but they're also easily swayed. And they damage a unit by 2. If you target a spying unit, you're going to boost yourself by 2. So, you get an additional 2 points for targeting spying units. Here we have our operative token that we talked about earlier. So this is your 3 strength human agent token. So we can use this with the leader. If we keep going, we then have Mage Torturer. This has Veil, it has Assimilate, so this is more Assimilate strategies, and you can use this to give an enemy unit spying. So we can apply spying to our opponent's units, which allows us to then trigger conspiracies with things like the Angry Mob, for example. So we can trigger the conspiracy off of the Angry Mob. Similarly, we can apply statuses so it synergizes with things like Thirsty Dame. So, there are options with this card, and it has Assimilate. Then we have the Seditious Aristocrats. These are aristocrat tags, so we can do things with scenario here. Deploy boost health by 1 for every spying enemy unit. Whenever an enemy unit gains spying, boost health by 1. So here we have a engine, and we can use this with the leader. When he plays his spying operatives, for example, we can play the Mage Torturer. This applies spying, and then this will get boosted. So there's another engine to go with your spying strategy. So you can kind of see the theme here, really. And it's starting to look pretty good. Then we do have Coup de Grace. And this is actually a card I revealed on my channel, so you might have already seen the video. This is an Echo card. Echo cards, at the start of the round, will move from your graveyard to the top of your deck. So you can play this, and then on the next round, it will move to the top and you'll draw it, so you can play it twice. We damage an enemy unit by 2. If we kill that enemy, we spawn and play a base copy of it, but we have the conspiracy to always trigger the death blow ability. So if we're targeting a spy, this will happen regardless. And bear in mind, we can now apply spying to other cards with, say, the Mage Torturer, for example. We can put spying onto opponents, so we can then set up something that we may want to create our own copy of with Coup de Grace. And because we are spawning a copy, it then synergizes with Assimilate as well. We can also use this just on our own spies, so things like Roderick or Joachim, which are already seeing play. We can then target that and play a second copy of those cards. So I think this is a very versatile card, and the fact that you can play it twice, I feel like, is quite powerful. And I think this is going to be a key piece in the spy strategy. Then we have Barathans. So another Assimilate unit, we play him. He then creates and plays a Bronze Disloyal Nilfgaard unit. So these are your, your spies. And given the pool of Bronze Disloyal units, there's a lot of good options out there. This, although it's 11 provisions and he's only 4 power, actually I think is pretty powerful. It also has Assimilate, so it's going to boost itself when you do create that. And on top of that, you're again playing into your spy synergy. So this is going to I think this could fit quite nicely into any deck, but definitely with the extra power of the Disloyal cards, you're then getting extra synergies and extra points from that. So I think that this is like an underrated card, to be honest. I've seen a lot of people say it's kind of a bit meh, maybe 11 provision seems high, but then when you think about what it does and the versatility that it gives you, it's, I would say, pretty good. The pool of Bronze Disloyal cards isn't that big, so you will fairly consistently find, one of the, a couple things that you maybe want to find. Yeah, so I think this is pretty decent value. You'd have to kind of sit down and do the maths to work out exactly, what you're gaining for your provision cost, but I do think the whole kind of spy archetype is looking really good right now. I really want to know what this is, but we'll find out. Yeah, so last but not least, we then have Fergus var Emrys. Deploy, give an enemy unit spying. Devotion, give 3 enemy units spying instead. So this is a card that is similar, it's similar to the Mage Torturer, wherever she is. Mage, oh, that was her name. Good, I'm like, yeah, I got it right. 50 points for Jaggerous. This card, it gives spying, but if you have only Nilfgaard cards in your list, and I feel like Nilfgaard is one of the factions you can kind of get away with this. You don't necessarily need too much targeted draw like Royal Decree or Oniromancy, which is one of the new cards, because you have a lot of your own kind of thinning anyway. You have like Menno to find tactics, for example, and Coup de Grace, by the way, is also a tactic, so you can find it with Menno. You have things that can thin your deck. You have, looking at the top 3 cards, for example, you have leader abilities that can move cards to the top. You have Albrecht to move things to the top, so you can find the cards that you need in Nilfgaard with Nilfgaard cards. And we can give 3 enemy units spying, so we can apply spying to 3 units, which will allow us to synergize, like I said, with some of these other cards. If we're putting spying on 3 things, then it gives us options for Coup de Grace. We can also use the Seditious Aristocrats to then get boosted by that, so that synergizes there. They're going to gain some points from the extra tags. If you're running, say, Thirsty Dames, again, spying is a status, or applying statuses, those are going to boost too. So yeah, I think this spy package in general feels pretty synergistic. I feel like CD Projekt Red have really tried to flesh out the Nilfgaard archetype of spies, and I'm really excited to play it. I'm really excited to see, you know, just what it comes to and how it plays out, because I think there's a lot of tools already in Nilfgaard that are going to work quite nicely with this. And I'm also interested to see what balance changes are made around Nilfgaard cards to see, you know, how they will impact these cards, because like I said, we don't know everything. Amnesty, though, I think is, you know, one of the better bronzes, and 6 provision bronzes are a bit lacking in Gwent. I feel like there's a lot of alright 4 and 5s, but 6 provision bronzes are a bit weird. So adding this to the tactics package, I think this is going to frustrate players. I know some people don't like playing against Nilfgaard because they keep touching your things, and it's like, please just stop touching my things. These are my things, not your things. Don't touch. No touchy. And, you know, that's how people feel against Nilfgaard. And, you know, bear in mind, you can use this to seize an engine card, a card that's providing points over time, if you can get it down to 3. Plus, you get the boost to protect it a little bit. So I think this is going to be quite a impactful card, all things considered. So yeah, that is my set review of the upcoming Nilfgaard cards. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Is there some like blindingly obvious interaction that I missed out on? You know, let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, you can always leave a like. Let me know which faction you're most excited for in Master Mirror. And keep an eye out for the channel for the upcoming set reviews for the other factions. Thank you so much for watching. Have an awesome day. You can find me on Twitter @Jaggerous, on Twitch, twitch.tv/Jaggerous, and hopefully I will catch you in the next video.